Welcome to Shawnee Union. Sorry I was off for a little bit, but I'm back and I'm here to review the Canon AF35mm. So if you watch the channel, you know that I'm really into cheap point and shoots. And this is a special one. This is the Canon AF35mm, was released early in the 1980s and is a pretty cheap plastic 80s camera. It has some good features, but the best feature on here is actually the lens. It's a 40mm f1.9 lens. So one of the fastest lenses on a point and shoot 35mm camera. But first things first, let's take a look at the camera and some of its features and then how to use it. Here's the camera. We're going to go over the functionality and where everything is laid out. On the top, you're going to see the shutter right here, and then also the frame counter. You can change your ASA by moving this little dial over here. It goes from 400 to, this is tricky, you're going to hold down this little tab. To 25, so pretty good. And then the lens, 40mm f1.9, so really convenient. That's a pretty sharp lens, and it also has UV threads here. It also has filter threads, so you can attach a UV filter or polarizing filter, a lot of different filters on there. So kind of like a professional add-on for that. Flash is here, and it's a little tab in the back, so to turn on the flash. There it is. You can see this camera is really clunky and kind of not that well refined, so it's kind of, it has a very 80s vibe to it. This is probably one of the worst parts of the camera that I don't like, this selector. So the top one's battery check, makes this little beeping noise when you go there. And you're gonna see that I have to use my fingernail the whole time to move these things, so not very ergonomic. Here's on, here's self-timer. And then listen to this noise when this thing fires, so. That first beeping noise is because I can't get focus. So if I hold down, let me see if I hold down halfway. If you hold down halfway, you can get it. So it focuses. So it's not able to focus. It's a pretty dark room, but let's see if it can focus on my hand. Nope. But clunky in use and not very fun to use, but we'll talk about that a little bit in a second. So in terms of shooting experiences, this is kind of a crappy shooting experience. The focusing is really loud and noisy, so it's not going to be a great street shooter. People are going to hear you come a mile away. The shutter noise is pretty loud, the autofocus noise is pretty loud, so not very discreet. It also is pretty big, so it's not very ergonomic. It's almost like, I don't know, I would say like a Walkman size camera. Compared to the Stylus Epic or the Olympus Stylus, it doesn't really fit that easily in your pocket. You're going to need to either carry on a strap outside, or if you have a really big jacket pocket, maybe, but not very convenient for a travel camera. But saying all of that, how do the images turn out? So when you do get shots with this, how do the images turn out? And they turn out really, really good. So I was really surprised about it. I've had the Yashica T4 before, and I'm going to say this and it may sound controversial, but the images on this guy get pretty darn close to it. And so for a $5 camera, I couldn't believe the images that were coming out of it. And I've heard a lot of bad stuff about the autofocus, that it's not good 50% of the time. On my images, I had about a roll of 36, and I would say I only had one or two that were out of focus. So on the Yashica T4, even though it's known for its really quick and fast autofocus, it is not as accurate. Sometimes it was not always like not 100% accurate either. So you get out of focus shots there. So the thing I like about the images that reminded me of the T4 were the color quality. So I really enjoy Superior 400 film, and I like the way, I like the punch it has. So this lens and this, the way this lens handles really reminds me of that. So you get really sharp blues, you get really sharp greens. At the end of the day, the images that come out of the camera are the most important thing. And this thing, even though it's very ugly, very loud, very 80s, takes great pictures. So save your money for trips, save your money to go places, and take a crappy camera and put film in it. And that's kind of the moral of the story. I would pick one of these up again, and if I saw one on sale at a garage sale or thrift store, I would totally pick it up. I probably wouldn't pay more than $20, but it's a great camera even at that price, but not more. So do you guys have any cheap cameras that overperform, or do you think there's a camera that you think, not a lot of people look at in a nice way, but just takes amazing pictures? Let me know in the comments, or let me know if you want to see me do more of these reviews. I'm kind of getting into looking at just cheap, bad 80s and 90s cameras. But that's it for this week, and I will see you guys again next week. Thank you. See ya. All right.